And here we are again. No, welcome back. I was by myself last week.
So
Hello,
sorry.
everyone. It's okay. It's all good, but I missed you. Hello, everyone. I'm Fernanda, teacher at the Rose Meditation. And again, finally, I have Nuno here with me. And Nuno is also founder and teacher at the Rose Meditation School. Nuno, we are in the middle of a challenge and it's about strength. We have different challenges. I love all of them. I think the challenges are an amazing and funny way to do things, to overcome our limits, to have the strength of the group with us. So I just love the challenges. And this challenge that we are doing today is about strength. So I explained to everyone last week that this challenge consists on improving your permanence in the plank position that we call
Chatuspadasa.
Chaturasana. What can you tell me about the Chatuspadasana, about the permanence, about this kind of challenge? They heard a lot from me last week, and this week we want to hear from you.
All right. So, yeah, it is a technique that I love to do,
I
love to teach.
know.
You do many of my
Do his
classes.
classes. He gives this position every class.
Yes, yes. Um, but one thing that I notice with the plank position, Chatuspadasana, is because it gives you four supports, it is a stable position to do. Sometimes in the all the possibilities of positions that we can make some of these challenges, we have a tendency to reduce the points of support, meaning it can become harder just by that detail. When you're holding a plank position, you have four supports. That means you'll be able to distribute your weight in an easier way. And that can unlock for yourself a lot of possibilities. And so it's not about the stability, it is mostly about uh, expanding your limits. How much further can I go with my limits of holding this position, of being stable in this position? Okay. And even if you're strong, it can be extremely challenging to hold a plank position for 10 minutes, for 12 minutes, or even more. Okay, so I think everybody can accept the challenge, even if you start with 1 minute. That's the thing. 1 minute will be even a good starting point. Then to have 5 seconds every day for 15 days. That is the short version of our challenge, and I encourage you to do that. And I have to say, I have a private student, and he's an athlete. He's a football player, football, the European term, so soccer for the US. And he's well fit. He's a strong kid. He's a young buddy. And I can tell you how challenging it is for him to hold 2 minutes.
Hmm.
And the thing is not just holding 2 minutes, it's to hold stable for 2 minutes. Like assemble the position and just stay there.
Don't move.
Don't move. Be mindful. And that's kind of his challenge, but still great exercise for him to develop that kind of mindset of talking with his body, to enjoy the stillness of a position, to expand his body awareness,
Mhm.
which is great.
Amazing. And the limits, they are not physical. We tend to think, since it's a strength position, we tend to think that the limit is physical, but it's not. It's mental limits with no doubt. And we have a lot of examples. But before that, no, I wanted you to talk a little bit more about the difference of the strength development in our methodology and in gym. It's not that we don't do the gym, we don't do the machines at the gym. We do, and they are very important and they are effective, but they are not the only way to work your strength, to work your body. So I want you to explain a little bit more about this way, this different, that is actually most ancient way to train our body.
Yes, yes. So we have mostly two possibilities. One very popular in the gym, which is repetition, that
Mhm,
you do an exercise and you repeat in series or sets. Or you have another option, which is also valid, older in time, which is holding the position, not repeating, holding the position. And that's how we train, just physically speaking. Okay, we're going to assemble a position, what we call asana, and then we're going to hold that asana as our challenge. But for us is way more than just a position. The position have a few characteristics to observe. For example, is it stable? Is it comfortable? How is the aesthetic of the position? If you don't observe these three elements, you cannot go further. Like if you are unstable in a position and I tell you, Fernando, you need to check your breath. No, I'm still trying to hold on my foot. It's just
it happens a lot.
so it is a conditioning to unlock other elements of the position. So first, the
Mhm,
position needs to be stable.
mhm,
Okay, then
mhm,
you build comfort in the position, so then gradually become more comfortable, and with that you'll be more aware of the details such as alignment, position of your hands, facial expression, all these elements of the aesthetics, which is not just looking nice, it is
mhm.
demonstrating that your body awareness goes till the tip of your fingers.
True,
Okay.
true. Mhm,
When you observe these three elements of the physical position, then you are able to develop a different awareness within the position, which is breathing awareness. It needs to be deep, it needs to be conscious, and it needs to have a sense of rhythm. And here the same. If you're holding position, still everything okay, but you're still struggling with your breath, that means, oh, this is my challenge to hold the position and challenge my breath to make it conscious, then to go deep, and then to add a sense of rhythm.
mhm, mhm.
Is that good? Yes. Is it enough? Not for us. Then we have a third stage, which is the mental attitude or the inner attitude, how you can use your brain to actually help you to keep you engaged in the position. So you're comfortable, you're in that position, you're breathing properly, you had that sense of rhythm. What next? Bring your attention, bring your awareness to the muscles that need the most, mentalize over it, and don't forget about that passionate effort, why you're doing that. It's just not just a script that says you need to do a plank for 10 minutes. It's not for the script. You have an intention, you have a self-surpassing concept within you. That's why you're doing that, and you put some passion into it. That for us is asana. This is where it actually starts. Everything else is just training.
True, true. No. And do you have any interesting story to share with us that show how our limits, they're not physical? Because we tend to think they're physical. Or do you have any interesting story about the permanence or something similar to that?
I have a few with myself, with my trainings. one of them was by myself discovering more advanced positions, not because I was studying, theoretically speaking. I was just practicing, and then my body was kind of giving the hint of what's next. Giving you a very vivid example, kakasana, many times in English, the crow position. I was holding myself, knees over the elbows, supporting my whole body on my hands on the floor, and I was doing permanence. Okay? I was trying to push myself into a different limit, and then by no reason, my knees got off from my elbows. What? Why did I do that? It was not my intention, but I was holding, and then I cannot understand why, but then suddenly my knees were out of my elbows. And then I realized that I need more strength on my arms to go further in a direction that I didn't know what it was. And so that same day, I talked to my teacher at the time and just share this detail. I was training that position at home, and this happened. And the answer was, yes, your body is getting ready for the handstand, Mahakakasana, a more advanced variation of that position. Oh. So it was not intentionally. I was just doing the basics, doing the foundation, and my body just was giving the hint of where to
The
go.
next steps. Good. Beautiful story.
Yeah, and that happened with different positions as well. But that was kind of early in my years. I was like, oh, this is interesting. Okay, and then of course there are other positions that you're holding, make long permanences, and it just feels good. The challenge feels good. When we were in New York, I had an interval of 1 hour between my early class and teacher's class. As you remember, I was giving the Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays the 7 a.m. class. So it finished at 8. And then at 9, we'd have our teacher's class. So all the teachers at the time in Tribeca will join in a classroom and practice together. So what to do with that 1 hour? Training. Okay. And I would many times just hold the plank position for 5, and then I said, oh, let's do 10 today, and I'll do 10. And it was kind of, I was always pushing myself to higher limits, and because of that discipline, my body was always being able to do that.
Ready for more.
And then you can do two things. You can make the permanence higher, or you change the position to something more advanced. Like the plank position, if you're holding on your forearms, hold on your hands. If you're holding on your hands and it's still easy, hold on the tip of your fingers. Okay, for example. And with these details, you change your level, not because it's a competition, but it is, I need to surpass myself. Okay, let's give it a try to hold for this amount. There was another year, just to finish, that I decided to do a sequence of positions on the tip of my fingers that I would add one position every week. I had to go to do it for 1 year. I couldn't. I failed miserably. But I tried. But I would say that was my goal, but I was thinking maybe I can pass the first 2 months. Yeah, I did, I think, 4 months of adding one asana, one position to the sequence. So I will stand on my tip of my fingers, and every week I would add another position without touching my feet on the floor. That was cool. And with creativity and with all of that, I was able to expand my vocabulary in terms of asana, in terms of creativity, and that just expands your consciousness as well. So that's also a very interesting tool of mindfulness without being meditation, without not just being seated. How
Mm-hmm.
can you be present? I need to be fully present to do that challenge that I did years ago. And maybe I'm going to start doing that again. Maybe next year I will start, see how far can I go.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Nono. And we are in our limit, but before we finish, I'd like to explore a little bit more about the results that we have when we do this strength challenge, because we think the obvious, okay, I'm going to be stronger. Yes, you are. I am going to be more aware of my body. Yes, you are. But what do we have in the other level, like beyond that, in a subtle way? I like to explore, for example, if you are under a controlled environment and you can work being uncomfortable in this controlled environment, you are pushing your limits of your discomfort a little bit further, right?
Hmm.
And this is going to be yours forever. What else, Nuno? Or if you want to go deeper in this explanation, or if you want to add something else just before we finish.
No, I'm just going to share some feedback from my students that they would say, no, no, if I can do that, I can do other stuff in life. And not
Mhm.
physically speaking. It is unlock it challenges like this unlock a power of accomplishment, of strength that you apply on your decisions, on your mindset, on your struggles in life. You kind of make it. Uh, they always say, "No, no, now I can do the headstand." So that means I can do anything in my life. I can open
True.
a company. I can make open a new department. I can open a new store. I can start my business in a restaurant. It was just a position, but it unlocks a power which is mind blowing, mind blowing. So I really encourage people to do this kind of challenges because who knows what connections inside of yourself and inside of your brain it creates that makes you do amazing stuff. And so I would go more in that direction. It is interesting to be uncomfortable, be exposed be uncomfortable in a comfortable
Control.
room and all of that. That's really interesting. But I also like to make that outside of the room. How further can I go when I try to transpose the challenge into my life?
True. Exactly. And I think we can discuss more next week. We really
Yes.
have to go.
Yes.
Thank you, Nuno. I just love chatting with you. I know asana is one of your passions, and it's so good to hear from you. And if you still are not doing this challenge, come join us. It's a beautiful challenge. It's a good one. You're going to notice a big improvement. And we see you next week. Meanwhile, have a mindful week.
Have a mindful week. Bye bye, guys.